All right, David.
All
Today we're
right.
going to talk about trading in different time frames, specifically higher time frames versus lower time frames. And I guess the question is on everyone's mind is which one actually works? So since you trade on a different time frame than I do, I'm going to let you start and tell me what you think.
Okay. Well, I mean, for people that don't know, normally you look at higher time frames it really depends on what your day looks like. If you're looking to get in and out of something, you trade on a lower time frame. If you're swing trading or day trading, then you're really looking at, well, at least swing trading, you're looking at a higher time frame on that. But what I do is that I always look at the time frame I'm on. And then I look if that is basically what I use for the general understanding of everything. So I'll pull back to a date like you trade on and then say, where are we generally headed this today, or anything else along those lines.
For those of you who are trying to understand what we're babbling on about, Dave trades on a 15-minute chart and I trade on a daily chart.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I trade on 15 minutes. And why? I don't know. Maybe old habit or whatever, but I'll look at an hour chart or anything to get a general understanding of where the market's trending. That's what I use the higher time frame. I'll use a lower time frame, like a 5 minute or a minute chart to kind of time where I'm putting when I'm going to do my trade. And I do that because that's like, if you go to a smaller time frame, at least in my opinion, figure it's just when should you execute your trade? Is it in a slight pullback right now, or is it making it move? Maybe it's making a different type of move type of thing. So it's if you're going short, and maybe it's in a long phase right now. Is that a pullback or is that a swing to the upside for long? So that's basically what I kind of do with when I'm doing my trades.
okay, that makes sense. And you hit on something early on that I think is kind of the key to this discussion, which is the time frame that you trade in kind of depends on your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Because I've traded in all of the different time frames over my trading career.
Yeah.
And I was trading in the lower time frames when I first started because I was young and I was impatient and I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
get rich quick. And there's a lot of movement when you trade in those lower time frames. Prices moving around a lot in a minute chart, a lot more in a minute chart than it looks like it's moving around in a monthly chart, kind of a thing. So I think that's kind of like how in any profession when you start out you're kind of like an idiot, and then over time you kind of get better and better at it, and then you kind of find your groove, your slot, whatever.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with trading. It's like when you first get in there, you're just flailing around and burning through money, and every once in a while hitting a big one and jumping up and down like an idiot. And you're experimenting with different time frames. And then, of course, there's so much misinformation on the internet about how to trade. You're getting slapped around all over the place, trying out different strategies and things that you saw on a YouTube video. It takes a long time. I mean, it depends on the person. Some people figure this out pretty quick. Me,
Mm-hmm.
not so much. It took me a really long time to figure out what worked and what didn't. And then once you figure out what works from a strategy standpoint, then you kind of got to ease into the lifestyle. So like now my lifestyle is I got a lot of shit going on outside of just trading.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have
That's true.
time to sit in front of a 5 minute or 15 minute or whatever chart. So what I do is I work with a daily signal, and I look for a very specific setup that you've seen in my little syzygy live trade videos. And if I see it, I take a trade, and then I walk away and I don't look at it.
Yeah.
I just like,
That's a great scenario. Great thing.
right. So then I just put my profit target on, my stop loss, and I literally forget about the thing. And sometimes I forget about it for like a day, and then I go back and go, oh, shit, what happened there? So for me, that works great because I have all these other things that I need to focus on. And now I got, the whole thing with mom in the house. And so, yeah,
The uncertainty on that one.
I don't have time to have my nose glued to the screen. Now, some people like that, being glued to the screen, some people don't. But That's where you pick. That's I think that's, my philosophy of which time frame you pick. I think it has to do with what kind of life are you leading besides trading, you know?
I think it. I think you're right on that one. I think there's also a kind of a misnomer too, which is at least when I first started doing this, when we started switching time, when you started switching time frames, I'm going, okay, well, I can't eat that extra cost, because in my opinion, when I first started, it's like, okay, well, if you're doing dailies, if you look at these charts are moving what 100 pips plus or minus a day,
Right.
and it's like, okay, I can't, if I put my stop loss of where I want to put my stop loss, it might be a 30 pip loss to a
Too
100 pip
rich. Yeah,
gain or
too
whatever.
rich.
So yeah, I mean, that's what basically I'm looking at. So that was my first common misnomer on that, is that you have to trade bigger when you're getting to these longer time frames.
Nope, you don't.
And
I
it's
don't know if you've noticed, but my average trade is about a 10 to 15 pip profit, which
yeah,
is exactly what yours is.
yeah, which is that's exactly what I do.
So, yeah, I mean,
Oh,
occasionally I get it. I'll hit a big one and get like 30 or 40,
mhm,
but yeah, that's all I'm going for is the
right.
15, is the 15.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter what you're really trading in. It's the same numbers really,
Right.
no matter where you're going.
I mean, all you got to do, well, you bring up actually kind of a good point. All you got to do in a scenario like that is just look at what the average true range is. So if I go in here really quickly, average true range. Are you familiar with this, Dave? This indicator?
Yeah, it's the how big the candles are and stuff.
Yeah, it's the average range of a candle per day. So
Right.
here I'm on a daily chart of the Aussie USD, and what Dave was talking about was like if you were doing like let's see, let me see if I can put a good example of it here. So like if I took this short here, right here,
Mhm.
because there was overhead support here, and you are concerned that you couldn't eat, like normally maybe someone would put their stop loss here, right?
Yeah, that is 100% right. Mhm.
Okay, at the opposite end of the previous candle, and that might end up being like a buttload of pips, right?
That
Okay.
that is the main concern that I think. That's what when I first started doing different time frames, that was my
Yep.
main concern.
Because you went short here. But what I'd like to point out is that the average true range of this instrument right now on a daily chart is about 5 pips. So what that means is it's only moving about 5 pips today. So if I was to take this very same trade, I would set maybe like a 10 pip stop loss because I know it's moving like 5 pips all the time. I might target like 7
Mhm,
and with a 10 stop or a 10-10, one of those
mhm.
it'd be something like that. So yeah, it's a little misleading. It's a little confusing when you first start. So, all right. I think we've talked that one to death. How about you, Dave?
Sounds like, yeah. I think
Okay.
hopefully people are got the idea of why you do different things. But yeah,
Yep. All right. It's over and out from Bill and Dave.
all right. Take care. Happy trading.
Later.
Ready to trade with an unfair advantage? Transform your results with the Syzygy AI Edge. We run on a value for value model. No ads, no sales pitches. If you got value from this video, hit the donate link in our bio to support the show. While you're there, grab our free strategy guide, join Algo's Overwatch on Slack, or download the Forex AI Sage app. It's all free at WaveriderTradingTechnologies.com. Like, subscribe, and trade smart.